Hello, and how lucky you are to join me on another fantastic episode of Tea with Leigh, the show where we drink and spill the tea. With me, Leigh Joel Scott, famous actor. God, we are in for a treat today. This episode is definitely one for the history books and my journal. If you like uncomfortable silences, hearing me get bullied non-sexually, and the sweet sound of sweat dripping directly from my forehead, armpits, and butt crack, then you are going to love today's guest, Erik Groysman, almost as much as I love him, almost as much as my therapist has heard about him. Erik Groysman really is one of the most hard-working, skilled, and driven musician and composers I know, and the straightest guest to ever appear on Tea with Leigh, I think both historically and for all time. He's worked on some massive projects like Avatar, The Way of Water, Saltburn, Megan, Drunk History, and, most importantly, he created the theme song for 2 seasons of my 2015 web series, FICKLE, right here. Did the editor put the theme song in? Who knows? I don't review these videos, which I hope has become painfully obvious. Now pop the kettle on, settle in, and see if you can hear the very sharp edits where I had to cut out about 45 minutes of my crying. Please welcome Erik Groysman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're recording.
We're recording.
We're recording. And we're rolling. And we'll cut there. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now we're going to do a second episode. Erik Groysman, welcome to the show. Welcome to Tea with Leigh. How very exciting.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Why?
You turned it up a notch, so I turned it up a notch.
What's the time? 2:50?
Do you want to try another iteration of that?
I'm just making sure as soon as I'm done I can get right into therapy. Eric, welcome, and I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having
me.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Erik, I'm going to ask you a question I've asked all the guests. By that I mean I've asked one other, but I think it's important. On Tea with Leigh, I've had a realization that tea's played an important part of points of my life. When I'm sad, I've had a cup of tea. Happy, had a cup of tea. Bored, had a cup of tea. Was tea a big part of your life?
Oh, yeah.
How often would you have tea?
Oh, no, my whole life I've been drinking a lot of tea. Culturally, it's like a thing, yeah.
For a Moldovan man?
Yeah, from former Soviet Union man, yes, exactly.
They're big
lots
tea
of
folk?
tea. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much.
In the Soviet Union, they basically had black tea and herbal tea.
Okay.
But, a lot of my childhood, chamomile to calm my ass down.
Yeah.
My mom would give me that.
That was the Ritalin of its day.
Yeah. Very, very, very mild, but lovely. Actually, when I used to live here in Glendale,
yes, shout out Glendale.
Remember the house?
I do.
I guess I never even clocked it, but on the street side of the house there were chamomile bushes. I never clocked this, but one night we just see someone in our bushes like plucking, and it ended up being like an older lady, and she was just like taking chamomile to make tea. But we were like, and we didn't care, but she was just like, caught red-handed, and then just like showed us, she's like, tea, and we're like, nice.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's chamomile. I never noticed that.
Or maybe that's just how you get away with theft.
Yeah.
You hold up whatever you're taking and shout, tea!
Yeah.
Erik, you and I have been friends for 8 years. Do you know that?
I do now.
Maybe 9.
Oh, so you don't know.
Erik, you and I have been friends for 9 years.
That sounds right.
So did 8, but it's okay. They're both...
No, 8 sounded wrong to me, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, drink your Saratoga and shut your fucking mouth. Erik, you and I first met. Do you remember when we first met?
Yeah, I do.
Do you try and block it out, or are you happy with how we met?
No, I block it out until you remind me, and then it just...
Good. Comes screaming back.
Yeah, it comes screaming back.
Would you like to remind me how we met?
I'm good.
Okay, I'll remind you.
I got it all up here.
I was sweaty before we started, and it's increasing minute by minute.
Did you just come from hot yoga?
Yeah. Yeah, I came from hot yoga. You know my love for hot yoga.
I didn't.
Well, that was a great instinctual guess. That's because we've been friends for 8 years or 9 years. You get me. The first time we met, it was at a pilot presentation for a TV show.
Presentation.
Presentation.
Yeah, premiere for the fancier folk.
Premiere for the Australians and English people. I went and I laughed, Eric. Boy, how I laughed. And I thought, God, the best thing about this comedy pilot is the music. So I had to find out who it was. I went to the director and said, point me to the man who did this to us. He said, Erik Groysman. And I walked over to the bar, and I think you were in the middle of a conversation. Is that correct?
That's how I recall.
Good, I'm glad. This whole thing is really, it's more a deposition than a conversation.
It feels like it.
Okay, good. Call the police. And I slammed my hand down on the table and said, Erik Groysman. You turned around and went, ugh. And I said, Eric, have you ever done music for a musical? And you said, no. And I said, would you like to? And you said, sure. And I got your phone number. And I think, based on the amount of times I brought this up with you, your opinion at that point was, I'm never going to hear from this man again. Is that correct?
I don't know if I had an opinion.
Well, we met up for coffee.
Did we? I don't remember.
And I asked you about Stranger Things, the musical.
That I remember from the bar, or wherever the premiere was. And that was when Stranger Things was like first out. It was really hot.
Yeah, which is like 40 years ago at this point.
And so, or
dragging that
8 or
out.
9 actually, based on your previous numbers. And
The data, we'll check the data.
so that was exciting. And then you texted me while I was at a wedding in San Diego at a winery. And I had probably some wine, probably.
Probably a little.
And this definitely, probably I could attribute it to my foreignness.
Okay.
But when you texted me, I was like, you wrote your name and you said, hi, it's Leigh. But I read it and I was like, leg. And I had to really think for a long time. Because I didn't know that's how you spell Leigh.
Eric, I didn't know that bit.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I remember looking at my phone and being like, I wonder if this is that guy from the premiere.
Wonder if there's that guy who screamed at me and asked me about musical theater.
Well, no, and then I think maybe you said something about a musical, and then did I call you?
Yes, you did call me.
I was just like, I saw this text, and I was like, huh? And then I just like rang you.
It was so loud, and you were screaming over music, and you're like, I'm sorry, I've been drinking. What's up? And I was like, it's Leigh from the bar. Do you want to meet and talk about a musical? And you're like, yeah, man, okay, bye. And that was about it. That was about it.
I mean, I wouldn't have the best recollection of that.
Because you were, impassioned by the wedding and you were distracted.
It was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony.
Thank you so much. Why did I say that? It doesn't matter. But the point is, since that moment and the fact the musical never happened, we've been in each other's lives a lot. Some would say too much. Mainly you would say too much. I wouldn't. You're turning a shade of red I've never seen. But it's been through a lot. We've been through the highs and lows. You met your now wife, Emily Rosen, the therapist, who's on the show. Fantastic. What's it like being married to a therapist?
It's chill.
Fucking hell. I've had better root canals, Eric. Jesus wept.
Well, I'm working. I'm doing my best.
To hurt me?
Yes.
You've been a big help in my life. You've been a big help. You've been very generous with your time and your experience and creativity and I really think I've paid you back because I, free of charge, gave a speech at your wedding.
That's true.
We negotiated down from me being the celebrant because you wanted a rabbi and I had too much foreskin. So as it turns out, I could only be a speech giver. And the tea is the response from that very long speech I made.
Yeah.
So we're going to spin the wheel before I reveal the tea.
Okay.
Okay. This name wheel has names of people.
That I win?
No, it says spin to win because I don't have the budget to replace that with a cup of tea.
Got it. CGI.
Yeah, we're going to edit it. McCall, if you could just pop a big cup of tea over this, that'd be great.
Wait, you spin it for a name you're going to use?
Well, yeah, or a name you could use. But
I thought I would spin it.
Well, you can come over and spin it.
Bring it to me.
This is...
Am I not your guest?
Yes, Eric.
I really don't feel welcome right now.
I offered you tea. You said no. Spin the wheel. Take it.
He didn't give me tea. That should go on record.
What the I offered you okay, spin. I'm sweaty, man. You've got to...
I'm just gonna choose one.
Just spin and then you win.
But what if I don't like it?
Well, then you can spin again.
Okay.
What's the name?
Oh no.
Don't like that name. Okay.
Clint Port.
Clint Port.
Is this one of the ones we came up with together?
I believe so.
Okay, Clint Port it is.
That's why you like it.
I was ready to spin again. I would have kept going.
Do you? Well,
No, I'm happy with that. Clint Port.
That'll do.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Oh my god. This episode, after I cut everything that makes me uncomfortable, this episode's going to be 20 seconds long. It'll be my introduction.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Clint Port.
So when I made a speech at your wedding about you and Emily's love and how you met and maybe fabricated some things, creative license, it doesn't matter, but it was beautiful.
Well, I mean, it was funny.
And people were great. They thought it was lovely.
Yeah, people did. People
Isn't that
did.
nice?
Yeah, there was, my cousin's wife was like, "Who's that guy?" And they have a photo with you.
Do they?
Yeah, she sent it to me a
Oh my God.
little bit ago.
And
from like dancing under the influence at the wedding. Anyway.
Okay, so after I made the speech at your and Emily's wedding, which, was very touching and most amusing, people came up to me. They grabbed me by the shoulder and they went, "That was hilarious." People came up and said, "That was the best speech I've ever heard." People were coming up and say, "That was amazing." And then one of your relatives, for the purpose of this story, we'll call Clint Port. Clint Port had a bit too much port, grabbed me by the shoulder and said, "That speech," and jabbed me in the chest. And I went, "Yes." And she said, "That speech." And I said, "Yes." And she said, "That speech was far too long." And that'll stick with me till the day I die. I think that's an important bit of feedback.
Yeah, Clint Port is not a relative, but...
not anymore.
Not anymore. But no, Clint Port isn't a relative, but a very enthusiastic and spirited...
Drinker.
And passionate individual and, drinker. Yeah. That speech was precisely 6 years ago on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
And what an important thing to remember, my speech.
Yeah.
There should be some anniversary for that speech.
Yeah, no.
And now we're up to the next bit.
All right.
Yeah, we're moving on. Yeah.
Can we insert like a crowd going, and like sounds like a clown party for a second?
A clown party?
Did I stutter?
No, you were clear. I'm sorry for what I said.
Do your next thing.
What's a clown party?
It's like a party where there is a clown. Really? You don't know what a...
Well, it sounds like a clown party could be a party filled with clowns. Like a clown...
Use your imagination.
I don't know if I want to.
Okay.
Excuse me, I was crossing my legs.
Oh, look at that.
Family. How about that? We already discussed you came from the Soviet Union. You're a tiny little baby. Is that right? Tiny little squidgy?
Actually, just about turned 3.
Wow.
So I was older than...
Tiny little baby.
Yeah.
You a big baby.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember anything about coming to America?
There's a video.
All right. What's in the video?
Me coming through with my little backpack through the airport, since like you could still, like, my family all came in because at that point things weren't sketchy yet, and or less sketchy. Yeah, and they like came, and then my cousin, who Russell, the mechanic,
shout out to Russell, mechanic Russell.
He like ran past the single security guard who was like, again, this is pre 9/11, so
airport security just ruffled your
they
hair.
They were like,
and sent you through.
Whatever. And then there's a video of that, and then me coming and seeing my grandparents who I haven't seen in like well over a year and everything. It's wild.
That's beautiful.
But I don't remember anything.
But the video is very nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy that that someone was filming. Do you know who was filming?
Yeah, there was 2 people filming, but yeah, I do know. Yeah.
Multiple angles.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah,
Cut that into a reel.
It's wild.
Excellent.
Like VHS shoulder cam,
Yeah, you need 2 people to hold it up at that point.
Yeah.
God, I don't know if you'd be able to run past security now.
No. You wouldn't be able to even be in like the airport, where like this is happening now.
That's right. Every like 90s rom-com was set where someone would run from the door all the way to the gate and go, "Stop, Gail, I love you."
Yeah, that's basically it.
You are a very talented musical man. Is anyone in your family musical?
No, not really. My father is like an adamant rock and roll collector and lover. In the Soviet Union, rock and roll and Western music was illegal. So he like would buy smuggled albums.
What?
Yeah. and he was just like a really big fan of Western music, British rock bands, all that stuff, yeah. And so he was just like obsessed and would spend like a big part of his like monthly salary or whatever it was on like records.
Illegal music.
Oh, and it was like illegal Beatles, illegal Led Zeppelin, illegal Pink Floyd, and all this like stuff. And it would come in like record cases of like French like pop or whatever.
They're
like,
sneaking it in.
Yeah, they were literally, and they'd like scratch off the track listing and everything, and it was snuck in by people, and you paid top dollar for that.
That is wild. It's like the Soviet Union's Footloose. That's crazy. That type of music is illegal.
Yeah. It's hard for us to like really fathom. And my uncle, or second uncle, whatever, my dad's cousin, he is the only musician in the family who plays keyboards and whatnot. And he actually gave me my first guitar when I was 12 years old. Yeah.
Is there video footage of that?
There's definitely footage of me playing it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Were you loving rock music like your dad? Would he play it, when you came to America and he could listen to Led Zeppelin legally?
Yeah. He would always, we would drive around in the car and he'd be like, he'd put on something and be like, all right, name this band.
Oh, he's quizzing you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've heard stories of other people. But and I wouldn't know. And he's like, okay, well, that's Freddie Mercury's voice. That's Queen. You have to know Freddie Mercury's voice. Like, it's and stuff like that. Yeah, he would quiz me. How funny is that? Well, Blink-182 is what like really started my musical journey in middle school when I got my first guitar. That was what I was listening to and most inspired by, and what made me want to play guitar specifically.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got the piano first. It didn't interest you that much?
Didn't get a piano. I don't know where you got
keyboard.
that. No one ever said that.
Didn't you just say your uncle gave you
a guitar? He was a keyboard player.
Oh, he was
gave
a
me
keyboard
guitar.
player.
No, okay. I started playing trumpet when in middle school they were like, you could play an instrument for 4th grade. For whatever reason, I was like, I want to play the trumpet. And I came home and I was like ready to, we're like immigrants and, couldn't really afford much of anything. And so I was like, I don't know. We got this paper day at school and I want to play trumpet. And my parents were like, oh, we don't have to like force or convince you to learn music. And I was like, I want to play the trumpet.
You'd already been quizzed enough about music. It had been drilled into you. Do you still play the trumpet?
No.
Why'd you give it up? 4th grade, that was it? That was
I mean, no, I played through 7th grade. But by the point I was playing guitar and skateboarding and, just...
trying to be cool.
Yeah. And so, you know what it was? It was like I really disliked carrying my trumpet, schlepping it around in school.
That's
and I'm like, but I have a
part.
guitar at home, and that's way more cool because of like the music I'm listening to and whatnot. But you know what? I did play trumpet a few times on a few episodes of Drunk History.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, for like simple stuff, I was able to like kind of figure it out.
Honk out a tune.
Yeah, and obviously I was a lot better post, many years of musical experience.
Oh, I thought you meant in post,
but not like
tech.
No, I didn't know. It was like me playing, except for it's like I'd have to really learn because my technique hasn't developed, but my ear obviously has.
So, Blink-182. I think there's a distinct lack of trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that swayed you at all?
No.
Okay, great. What was your other musical inspiration?
Well, growing up in SoCal at that time, Southern California, for
Thank you.
Anyone who doesn't know
definitions.
There was a lot of pop punk and skate punk and all this stuff, and I was skateboarding and all that. So there was Blink-182, but at some point, I don't know what it was, but I think something clicked, and I listened to Pink Floyd via my dad's collection.
He'd been quizzing you all this time.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think I appreciated it entirely. That because Third Eye Blind, there was Blink-182, no doubt, all of that, trumpets.
Big trumpet.
All into that stuff and what my peers were listening to and whatnot. But once I discovered Pink Floyd, and that definitely, that was like the first real expansion in terms of like what I felt passionate about, like with when I had my own tastes,
That's interesting that your dad was sort of forcing it upon you growing up, being like, you must know Freddie Mercury. We're going to sit down to an exam at the end of this week. But then you ended up liking it after you sort of found it again.
Yeah, I never disliked it.
Sure.
But it wasn't like my own thing.
Right.
But once I rediscovered it on my own and it became my own thing, woo.
Oh, baby.
Big deal for me.
I like music that my parents do not listen to. where does a music taste come from? What's wrong with people?
I think, we begin to identify with things that we discover or we feel like we discover, and they connect with us at a formative time. And the rest is history.
And Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat just connected with me at a formative time.
Yeah.
I love coats.
Yeah. And, and then you sort of start kind of expanding that, but it's like one of the first ways we're able to like create our own identity.
I sort of stayed in a narrow path.
I'd agree with that statement.
Yeah. Okay. The expansion goes just to Jesus Christ Superstar and then other
It's
music.
scary to step out.
Hey, I like Blink 182.
Yeah.
I've listened to it, and I also listened to one song from My Chemical Romance and went, "That's not for me." How's that? Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Now, Eric, this is history.
I see that. I like that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
It's a play on words.
Oh, I thought I was just dyslexic. But, Eric, I'd like to know, you went from school listening to all this music, and then did you decide you wanted to go to Berkeley and went, this is the music school of my dreams, and work as hard as you could to get there, or what? What's the deal?
I never thought I'd go to music school because I'm an immigrant, and I thought I had to be like an engineer. I knew I wasn't going to be like a doctor or something. Wow. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but one night my band and friends, we heard there was an open mic at a coffee shop by like the sort of rival high school, I suppose.
Is this a 90s movie you were a part of?
Well, we showed up and it was like singer-songwriters, and we show up with drum sets and guitar amps, and we like sort of like blew the place out by playing Hendrix and stuff like that.
So it was all just people with like an acoustic guitar and a soft voice, and then you guys came in and
started playing Purple Haze and and like loud Hendrix and stuff.
That Starbucks burnt down.
Well, everyone like, was there for like the singer-songwriters, like their families were there, and they were all just like, oh my God. When they stepped out, they could hear us just fine from outside, I'm sure.
Oh, but, is that your reasoning why the place cleared out?
Yes.
Just so they could appreciate it, while they looked at the view.
Exactly.
Of course.
Yes, of course. And so I remember one of the singer-songwriters there kind of told me about Berkeley, and that was the first time I heard of it. And it was the only college I applied to.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You just went to one?
Yeah, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. It's kind of wild looking back at it.
That's like a risk. That's a big risk. As well. Most people apply to like, what, 5, 6? Something like that?
I didn't
you
apply
just went, this is what I want.
Yeah, and I worked my ass off to get there.
Did you have to be good at anything else in school to get into Berkeley? I don't know the rules of America.
Well, I didn't have to take the SATs, so I didn't.
So you just were like,
I was like, this is what I'm doing.
I'm busy doing music.
And I'm very fortunate that my parents supported that, because again, as an immigrant, they should have whooped my ass at that point.
Yeah, they should have forced you into engineering.
But they were very supportive. And prior to that, another thing that kind of shaped my path a good amount prior to that, some point in maybe junior year of high school, my guitar teacher recommended me to the head of this music school that I think still exists, but it was like a big kind of like, they had a location, but it was like a mobile teacher-student connection.
Oh, okay.
Music school type of thing. They were huge. And he recommended she interview me to teach music. He thought I'd be a good candidate, and I had never taught anything. She interviewed me because he convinced her to, and she hired me on the spot. And I was the youngest music teacher at this whole thing. I was like teaching, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. I had students that were 40, 50 years old. And so in high school, I was making good money, but also I was playing guitar and thinking about music and playing music, as my job.
It was your job at that point.
Yeah, it became my job. And
yeah, that's your sole focus.
Yeah, and that ended up working out really well. They were really happy with me, and for me it was obviously like teaching, relearning the basics when you're at an intermediate level is really powerful, because you start seeing it in a new light. Did it change anything for you when you were teaching absolutely people? Because when you learn the basics, you kind of want to keep moving forward, and you get past the basics, but when you refocus on the basics, you start seeing so much nuance. And so that was really, that was great for me. And so flash forward a year or two later, whatever it was,
Groysman.
That's when I knew what I wanted to do. So it made a little bit more sense in that case. There was like more evidence of my passion.
Expertise, apparently.
Yeah,
You were the
whatever.
youngest person by 7 years.
Yeah.
Right now I come to your house and it's filled with buttons and sliders. How
Mm.
about that? When did you end up on that side of things rather than just in a band in a garage or a coffee shop blinding people?
When I had my first band, I couldn't afford to go to a studio, and my friends that were in bands had CDs, and I just didn't know how to do that because I couldn't afford to go to a studio.
Right.
And the guitar player in my band, his dad had gotten him a very janky 4-track digital recorder. And he didn't know how to use it, and I figured out how to use it. And, you know, these like very cumbersome, there's like one little screen and you have to like, one button does a million things. And I figured out with zero information, YouTube didn't exist, like nothing. I just, and I had no one to teach me anything. I just threw microphones up and recorded my band. I had no idea what I was doing. In like the full sense of like, there was no support, there was no one that can guide me,
no instruction manual or paper or anything.
I mean, whatever I could. Yeah, there was no. I just
figure it out.
I just threw up microphones and recorded my band songs, and made a CD of my band at the time.
That's so pro.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was. I had to figure it out by myself, and then eventually I went to studios and, you know, learned how to really do it. But that's the beginning of the answer to when I just always kind of was really a fan of not having to deal with gatekeepers.
Right.
And so when I went to Berkeley, I studied...
gatekeepers. Oh, I
yes.
thought you were saying something homophobic.
But I studied music production and engineering, which was my major at Berkeley, in addition to playing guitar. And yeah, I just always just didn't want to have to deal with someone that I was dependent on to record my music.
Eric, I just want to watch the movie of this. I want to watch this like grungy band, and which is what I imagine it was anyway, and then you forcing magic to happen. What was the band's name?
Table for 5.
Were there 5 of you in the band?
4.
Fuck off.
I swear to you. And everyone would ask, why does it matter?
Where's the 5th guy?
The table isn't for the band.
Who's the table for?
Use your imagination, Lee.
It's limited.
So I get that.
I love Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor. That's all I've got.
So many people, when we were doing this, that band was when I was like 13, 14, were like, but there's 4 of you. And I'm like, yes.
You were an ass.
I don't know. It just sounded cool. I just liked the name. Cool. There was several band names that I made up that were, you know, they're silly, but also they just sounded cool to a 13-year-old playing pop punk, you know, like, I don't know.
Did you have more band names than bands? Did you have books of ideas?
Probably.
Do you remember any other fun band names?
The very, very first one was FSG, and it didn't stand for anything. I just thought the letters sounded cool together. I have no idea. It was just FSG.
FSG.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Fucking scared ghosts.
Yeah, but Table for 5 was the first one that I recorded.
Right, that was your educational experience.
Yeah.
Do you have that CD still?
Yeah, absolutely.
My God.
With like the album art that we had to like figure out how to make and everything. Yeah. My dad found them recently. There was like a little stack of them.
You got to get them. I want to hear this.
And then freshman year of high school, I was like handing them out to people and stuff.
You didn't charge people?
No, not at first.
Oh, God, you're a good man, Eric.
Yeah.
When I was in a production of Jesus Christ Superstar, I filmed a documentary myself during the production, and I pulled out video cameras and recorded rehearsals and pieced it together. I edited a whole 90-minute documentary. I'd never edited before. And then I bought blank DVDs and blank DVD cases, and I designed the cover and put it all together backstage.
Yeah.
And then I charged people $50 a DVD for their memories.
50?
Oh, man, I made bank out of that. I made bank. My hourly rate at that point was pretty high.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. You have to, you know, create your own value.
As it turns out, I did, and I decided to not pursue it ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, once I watched the DVD back and realized there were 19 mistakes and half of it didn't work.
That's okay.
But I got your cash.
That's how you learn.
Yeah, pretty good. Well, I hope we get to hear it, and I can post a picture of it, the cover.
Yeah. That we.
But I won't get to hear it.
Yeah, no.
You're saying
you could hear it.
Oh,
you
social media won't hear it.
Yeah, I think I'm good on that.
I'll hide it from social media.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it.
Yeah, it's not on the internet, so it's okay.
Wait a minute. If it's not on the internet, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. It was before MySpace Music, so
Oh, well, that's the hub of everyone's musical activity.
It was later, and it was later for me too, but a couple years later.
Poor Tom. Did you enjoy Berkeley?
I did, yeah.
Did it change anything about your life?
Yeah, it changed my life massively.
Not just an educational thing, or was it
It was everything.
making friends that you've kept forever, or what?
Yes, but also it was the exposure to so much music from around the world. Berkeley's, at least at the time, I'd love if someone fact check this, but at the time, by percentage, it was the most international school in the world.
Really?
Yeah, it's a small school, so you get percentages quickly, but I think it was like 45% international at the time. I imagine it probably still is up there, if not, the number one.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so there's people from all over the world, and they're all the best from where they come from.
And you had to show them all Queen and Led Zeppelin.
No.
Just to carry on your father's journey.
No, but it was very intimidating at first, and I remember the first week during orientation after we had been exposed to, people from anywhere and various levels of aptitude play. I remember like one of the counselors or whatever during the first week is like, I bet you guys are all the shit where you came from. Yeah, and it was like a reality check.
Yeah, right. You were. At 17, you were like, well, now you're teaching other people because you're that good.
Yeah, my band is playing the fairs and all this.
Burning down coffee
we were playing
shops.
bars since we were like 16. They'd some of them kicked us out. Some of them didn't know that we were underage, and that was a good time. But yeah, it was very mind expanding.
When you were at orientation, would you see? You saw like every other student play or other like
not necessarily, but after the first week, people would start jamming, and you'd start getting a sense of like, oh wow, this is like the most competitive kind of place with this in some respect.
Everyone else was the 17-year-old teacher of their town, and they'd all come together.
Some version of that, but we're talking about like there's people from Africa and Japan and Europe and South America and just literally anywhere in the world. You see people playing music on the highest level. And then I remember distinctly one time I was walking by a rehearsal room, and I just heard this band just cooking. And it was just beautiful. It was just the most high level jazz. Like, I don't even know what they were playing, but it stopped me in my tracks. And I let them finish the song, and I was just standing from outside, and they all, there was so much communication in the music because it was a lot of improvisational stuff. And then they finished, and they were all just like, goodbye. None of them spoke the same language.
Right. Except music.
Yeah. Yeah. It was wild to see that because it was just so high level. But then they finished, and they're like, very nice, and just kind of like shook each other's hands. And some people spoke less than others. And so it was fascinating to see. So stuff like that.
But you, throughout your whole career, from what I've known, Eric, you have made music and percussion from anything you can get your hands on. You had a dog named Sharky, and part music is made from holding a microphone to her belly and you tapping on it.
It was actually her tush.
Oh, it was her tush music.
Yeah.
I've made a bit of tush music.
Well, I used her butt as a percussion instrument for a commercial about talking to your children about cannabis use.
Oh,
it was like a state initiative.
You would have had to been stoned to be tapping on a dog's butt and going, listen to this, man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
That was my stone voice. What do you think? Okay, so this got musically inclined.
Yay!
Thank you so
clown
much.
Party. People will know.
What is a clown? Okay, I'm not going to Google it. Eric, you've done a lot, and this is just a handful of things that I managed to fit on this card. Okay, you seem to be settling. Are you preparing yourself for this list?
Yes.
Okay, great. Far out. So what I have on here, very big. We all know Drunk History, Promising Young Woman. We have Waffle and Mochi, Avatar: The Way of Water, Megan, Saltburn. What an incredible list of projects you've worked on. How's that for a comment on society? But you've also done a whole bunch of commercials, speaking of products. GoPro, Chevy, Xbox, Microsoft, Monster Energy drink. You've done so much. From what I found, your very first professional gig listed on IMDb was something called Rain, where you were, and I quote, composer, and in brackets, uncredited.
Oh, Rain is Reign.
Yes, like Leigh.
Yeah. Well, no, that was a song that I produced that was in a TV show called Rain. I think it was like a WB or whatever type of show, and a song I produced for the band Carmina, called All the King's Horses, which I believe is their most streamed song, was in that show. But I wasn't composing for that show. I produced the song and it was used in a scene.
Well, we have to fix that.
Yeah.
We have to fix that credit. Was that that wouldn't have been your very first professional thing.
No.
So IMDb's a lie. What was the first paycheck you got? I mean, aside from teaching.
So I fell into composing because I grew up with a lot of filmmakers.
Mm-hmm.
As they were kind of starting to work in their industry, several of them started working in action sports for DC Shoes.
Okay.
And I was asked to make music for a commercial. They're like, can you do this? And I didn't study film scoring, but my roommates were film scoring graduates.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, I produce music. I can make a recording and I write music.
I
suppose I can compose
it,
whatever, terminology. And so I did. And so I wrote this piece, and actually, well, it was right after my grandmother had passed, and her and I were very, very close, and it was sudden, and I was so devastated. This is getting really sad. And I was like driving back and forth between San Diego, and I was like working at a TED Talk. I was recording a TED Talk in Malibu. Anyways, I had this song just come up in my mind as I was driving and just kind of going through my grief. And when I was asked to do that, that's when it was right around that time. So I recorded that, and that ended up being used as this like some sort of advertisement for motocross, but during Supercross, which is like the Super Bowl of motocross.
Yeah.
And it was being played on jumbotrons in stadiums all across the country, none of which I got the joy of experiencing. But that was like the first gig I had done.
That is an incredible start. And the song came first. You thought of the song while you were
it was
around.
instrumental. It was
Right.
instrumental. There was like some vocal kind of kind of thing in it, but it was something I heard while I was driving. I didn't have an instrument with me. I just heard it, and then I don't know how much later, not much longer after that, my friend asked me if I could make something for this. Yeah, it was wild.
I want to talk about some of these amazing other projects and actually how I was involved in one, because I love me. The way your career has gone is A, be incredibly talented, and then B, people in your network, friends that you have, will sort of start maybe asking you and getting involved in things. Do you think one of the most important things is having that network of people, or is it like word of mouth? Or if someone wanted to get into composing, would you say go study music and make friends? What would you say?
I think it's important.
Don't do it. Don't take my job.
No, it's not even that. I think when you say first be incredibly talented, I disagree with that entirely. I think it's just work really hard and develop a thick skin, and because talent, it's not that it doesn't exist, but it's like it's a cop-out to say somebody's talented. It's you work really hard. You bust your ass and you get good at it, and you become the sharpest tool you can be. And then a network and word of mouth and being, showing up. Showing up. It's all really not glamorous. It's like it's just putting in the hours and putting in the FaceTime and when someone asks you to do something, you do your best and hope that word of mouth spreads. At least that's been my very good fortune.
Right.
But it's all been that. Studying music, it's good. It's not bad or good.
It just is?
It just is. So,
Okay.
Especially now when you can like learn anything on YouTube. If you have the grit, if you want to work hard and you really, people when they say I want to be a whatever, it's like
Stripper.
those are very much just those are just words. Are you going to be the best stripper? Are you going to get a pole in your house and practice every day? Or are you just going to like sit there and hope that you are,
Gonna be a good stripper.
like you said, or you said like very talented. It's like, no, you just have to, chop that wood.
Okay, don't wink at me when you say that. Erik, You pushed back on the word talent. And can two things not be true at once? You have worked hard, you have been diligent, you have practiced extensively, and that leads to you being talented.
Sure. Yeah. But I push back.
Or do you not like the word talent?
I just don't like how it's used. I'm not
does that
disagreeing
mean?
with you. I just think a lot of people are like, oh, she's talented. They're talented. And it's like, that just really ignores the blood, sweat, and tears.
It's more dismissive of the effort.
Yeah, I agree that it could exist at once. And some people certainly have like a knack for things. But if you don't nurture that, it's meaningless.
If you want to be a stripper, knack and commitment.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And go to Berkeley. I mean, maybe there are people there that...
I mean,
want to
yes
give you
or no,
dollars.
yes or no. If you're willing to work hard enough and you're really, truly hungry, you could figure it out without going to music school. You could put yourself in situations where you push yourself. The thing about going to something like Berkeley or being in a place where there is a big hub, Los Angeles, for example, is it's really... no matter how big of a fish you were, you become a small fish. And that's how you learn to struggle and work harder. If you're always the best where you came from, you're probably not going to grow as much,
Interesting.
So it's like you can't. So that's one good thing about Berkeley is like or a music school. It's like you become surrounded by people that are making you work a lot harder, or they let you know that you're, as I've seen with plenty of people, that you're really maybe not cut out for it, and that's okay too, but it's like, it's real.
It's an important realization.
You have to be very competitive with yourself.
Man, I tell you, it was a realization going from Wollongong to Wollongong High School of the Performing Arts.
Yes.
Where I was never put as a lead in a musical. Rude, Janet Cunningham. But I certainly was in the top of the state as an actor, which was very exciting. And I was like, oh, coming to LA, I can't wait to swim in this water. And as it turns out, there's sharks and it hurts. And I'm bleeding.
Yes.
And I haven't stopped. Maybe it'll Carteroys at some point.
But that's the thing. You have grit. Look at you.
Oh.
You're still here. You're still working.
That's true. And my advice would be get yourself 2 iPhones and a bunch of studio lights and harass your friends to ask them questions. Drunk History went on for a really long time and won a bunch of awards. How did you start in Drunk History?
Same thing. I was asked to help, and I did.
And just went okay?
Yeah. Just word of mouth, personal relationship.
Speaking of relationship, Promising Young Woman has a surprise guest, being your wife, Emily.
Ah, yeah, that's right. That's right.
What does she play in the...
No. She's not in the film.
She's not in the movie, but you hear her, right?
Yes.
Tell me about it, stud.
Well, I was working with Anthony Willis, who's the composer of that film.
Hi, Anthony.
And
He's listening, right?
I sure hope so. Hi.
Better be.
He tasked me with coming up with unique sounds for the film, and in my experimentation, I don't know if this is a spoiler. Oh no, this isn't a spoiler. But we'll just say the motivation for the main character is someone who had passed away, and it's someone who had died by suicide after some trauma. And even though we never see her in the film, she's the motivation for the main character. And in my sonic exploration, making sounds.
That's a good term, by the way. Sonic exploration.
That's what I do.
I want that to be the name for a boat or something.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Sonic exploration. Okay.
So I had an idea, and I have a microphone that's a payphone. Have you seen that? I have a microphone that's literally a payphone.
A real phone, or the mic's taken out from the inside?
Yeah, and it's just rewired. I had it plugged in, and I had this idea, and as Emily was about to go to bed, I called her in. I'm like, hey, can you come here? And she's like, what? No, I'm just kidding. She came in, and I asked her to sing the lowest, quietest note that she could sing at the verge of breaking. Mm-hmm. I hit record, and she goes, and then I went, thanks, I love you, good night. And I took that little piece of her just holding out a note as her voice is sort of breaking and sounding quite ghostly, recorded through this phone, which sounds very...
spooky.
Well, it's like lo-fi. It sounds like very gritty and bad. It sounds like a transmission, yeah. And I turned that into a playable virtual instrument where you could play it on the keyboard. And
So you're playing Emily's voice on the keyboard.
yeah, so you could play chords and do
Amazing.
all this stuff, and that ended up being all over the film. It's just like this ghostly sort of wallpaper that surrounds the music when we need. So we hear that character Nina. It ended up being called that instrument's called the Nina pad, and it's quite literally the smallest sample, single sample, one note, just stretched on a keyboard. It ends up just anytime, and it sort of is like the ghostly voice from beyond of this character who's motivating the main character to do all sorts of shenanigans.
Emily's the sort of ghostly presence of this.
And she's in the credits. She's featured as a featured vocalist, I think.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Erik.
It's extra cool because that movie won an Oscar.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Did Emily win an Oscar?
No.
She should have. She would have told me.
But we were all part of an Oscar-winning film.
Excellent.
So.
And I am part of the life of someone who was part of an Oscar-winning film. So in a way, I have an Oscar. Oh, God, it's nice.
In a way.
It's nice being an award winner.
It's good to be the king.
Did you see Saltburn? You worked on it. You worked on it before anyone had seen it.
Correct.
Anyone in
of
public.
Course. Yeah.
Was it, when we get to the infamous bathtub scene,
That was the first scene that I was sent.
what the fuck? Horrifying. So what was your experience with that? Did you, when you were watching it, were you like, oh, I know exactly, and I know this is going to be big?
No, I mean, it was clearly it was interesting. It was definitely...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. You know, it's edgy.
Yes. Did you say edging?
No.
Ah, okay, good. I want to bring up one more important thing, and then I'll release you back into the wild. Erik, we've been friends, 7, 8 years now?
Less.
I wish 4 years. The first, I think it was pretty early on, you were working on, in our friendship anyway, you were working on a commercial for a local or regional commercial about water, encouraging people to drink water. And I was very early on in my voiceover career. And I believe I was just hanging out, and I think you said, oh yeah, do you just want to say this bit? Something like that? Do you just want to fill in for the minute, like temporary, so we can have timing? And I thought, yeah, okay, I'll say whatever it is, and because it's a commercial, I'll use the most commercial voice I possibly could.
Yeah.
Which was something like, drink water, wow, amazing water time. Words to that effect.
Yeah.
Words to that effect.
Less cartoony, but yes.
Pretty close.
For the sake of this, yeah.
For the sake of this, yeah. Well,
yeah.
all of it's for the
Yeah.
sake of this. That's why I wear these shorts, pan down. So I did that, and I think it was like, oh, that's fun. Okay,
Well, I sent
see
it
you
to them
later.
and said, you know, I had a friend who does voiceover, and he happened to be in the studio. And they were blown away by the whole thing and by the music. They didn't understand how something so cheesy could end up being so cool. And I made it like really groove. And then your voiceover was in the perfect register to it. And I said, you know, this is just a thing, you know, I don't know what you guys are going to do with the voiceover. And then they came back to me and they're like, oh my God, first of all, the music, everything about we love it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, can we use this voiceover? And I said, I'll put you in touch.
Brilliant.
And they reached out to you directly, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They reached out and they said,
Yeah.
hat in hand, please, sir, please.
Yeah. And then they had you do like an alternate voice too or something. I think you came back and we recorded some alternates because they were like, this is like 99% there. Could we just they just had a note
Brilliant.
for you. Yeah. But they were like, we don't need to hire anyone to do this other
What a
than
good
you.
deal.
Yeah.
It's amazing that happened. And
Yeah.
it's also indicative of how many things like that happen. You know someone and you're like, oh, we'll get him to do this. We'll get
Yeah.
her to come in and do this. We'll get them all to come in. And I wasn't the only one. Emily was also involved in that commercial.
Yeah.
And it was early on in your relationship too,
It
right?
was, and the group Carmina that I was just talking about,
Yes.
the ones whose song I produced that was on the Rain show, I had a session with them, actually at John Powell's studio.
Okay, brag.
You can
Okay.
Google him, and we were done, and I was like, hey, while the session's still open and the mic is still hot, will you guys just do me a favor? And I had them do Fruit or whatever it was.
Oh, that's them.
Yeah, and
Oh my God.
Yeah, I came up with like that rhythm and that piece of music while in urgent care. And
What?
yeah, long story, not important, but I came up with I had the idea while in like pain, sitting waiting to see a doctor who would essentially be like, "You're probably fine." And anyways, so yeah, and so I had to, cuz the whatever the brief was that I needed to mention specific ways that you can make it more attractive to drink water.
Right.
And
In the cheesiest PSA
and the
possible.
last one was fruit, and so that was in the order of how I had it sung, and it's just them doing that. So yeah, I just asked people to help me out, and yeah, and that was just like, they just did it, and it was just like 15 seconds of them saying fruit, like really excited, like 3 or 4 times in a row, and I was like, all right, thanks guys, you know what I mean? It was just like, because I needed to show this company that I could make a cool piece of music out of something that even they were like, this is impossible.
This is a mess.
Yeah.
And everyone around you, you're like, just quick, get in, Emily,
yeah.
Bubble, we're getting everyone in.
Yeah.
I must have that somewhere. I think you emailed it.
Yeah, I have it somewhere.
We'll put it in. It in. But Erik Groysman, it's been a pleasure, and I have to ask, for people to find you, your company is Loveboat Sound, is that right?
Yeah, well, that's my studio. That's
studio.
not really like it is my company, but you could just find me via my name.
Okay.
Spelled with a K.
I thought Erik starts with an E.
Yes, it is.
Wow. I'm clever. Okay, Erik Groysman, and you've got I think it's erikgroysman.com. I'll put it in the show notes and what have you. And so if people want to reach out and chat to you, that's the place.
Yeah, or yeah, and Graham, whatever.
Or I thought you were saying Graham, and I don't know who that man is.
Or whatever, Instagram.
There you go, that'll do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to end this by asking the question that I ask all my guests. Erik, I was on his show 12 times. I just want him to be on my show once. Do you have Conan O'Brien's home phone number?
I'd rather not say.
Erik! I need to get a knife from the kitchen for other reasons. Anyway,
Well, I got to be on his show once too, so
that's true.
yeah. I didn't get his number. I'm kidding. I'm just joshing you. I'm just pulling your leg.
Okay, we can cut there. What a great and informative episode. Who knew you had to put in effort and time to see success? Certainly not me. In fact, I signed a contract that states if I didn't get a 6-figure sponsorship deal by episode 3 of Tea with Leigh, I'd have to admit my name is top 6 on the Epstein list. Luckily, I got that sponsorship, huh? Now it's time for me to spill a little bit of tea of my own, and it's why I do this show. I do it for one reason and one reason only. It's because I have a desperate need for attention. No, it's more than medical, it's financial. You see, the more attention the show gets, the closer I am to making a full-time living off my creative pursuits, and I can quit my full-time soul-sucking job that makes me want to become friends with the pavement from the vantage point of a high-rise. And you can actually help me achieve those dreams, and you don't even have to give me any money. I mean, you could, I'm not going to stop you. My mailing address is... But right now, all you need to do is go to iTunes and rate and review the show. And for bonus points, you can share it with someone you love. Or share it with someone you hate. I, frankly, couldn't care less. Share it as much as you'd like. In fact, in the past 6 years, if you've ghosted anyone, send this to reignite the flame. After that, of course, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Tea with Leigh Pod for more bonus material and exciting pictures of me. And if you have any questions, compliments, or you want to spill some tea of your own, and maybe I'll read it on a future episode, please email me at teawithleigh@gmail.com. Tea with Leigh is hosted by me, Leigh Joel Scott. The show is produced by Shannon Ryan in association with Famous Actor Productions. Theme song and additional music by Erik Groysman at Loveboat Sound. The show is edited by McCall Joy Colico and audio engineered by Alexander Reze, with logo and additional graphics by the terrifying Karen Yang. And with that, good night and good tea.